right, welcome back. Friday, November 21st. Like that catchy title? Am I too big? Question mark in brackets. That's what she said. The best line ever. Anyways, so let me just quickly answer that question for you. If it's not black, it's not too big. For those of you that want a am I too big in finance terms, that's what this video is about. So you're looking at here what I will now open up to the public, because there's very little chance that anyone is going to coattail ride my Patreon members. Remember, my Patreon members are gold, and I don't sell out what they're purchasing every month. So, but I do like to point out what we do here from time to time, and I wanted to discuss sizing. I briefly mentioned that on the previous video that I did just yesterday. Important market updates and offer November 2025 is the title of that video. And I had mentioned that you have to get your sizing right, as well as the direction. And the algo is, at least the algos we run, it's the whole package. It does everything. I've done previous videos on Kelly Betting and Secure F. In the limit with Perfect Knowledge, they both converge to the same size. I run them both. I get an initial size with the Kelly Betting system that's built into my algorithm. And from there, we run a Secure F program algorithm on top of that. And that is my final choice decision maker for the size. Now, also, I believe we run 11. Let's just take a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I skipped oil because we're not running that. So we're running 11 securities that we trade. I believe right now we currently have on 5. You're actually looking at one of them, a Bitcoin short. Don't refer to this stop. In case you're looking at it, that's not correct, but we were short from the 101, 125 level most recently. The algo decided to start to get short around 107, dicked around, did a little stick handling, and finally it got stopped out for a small gain, and then it retook the short again, and it's been nothing but gravy since then. Now listen, it's obviously got the direction right, but this direction doesn't matter if your sizing isn't right, or it doesn't matter as much. It won't have as meaningful impact when you get, I guess we'll say, this right, which that's what our algorithms are designed to do. They will take a trade and they will stop out very, very quickly. If they're wrong, if things bust down like you see here, go sideways and start to go against it, depending on the exact circumstances, it's going to sooner or later stop out. This one, it stopped out and made us a couple pennies. But what I want to talk to you about here is getting the size right, and you do it with the Kelly Betting criteria, preferably a Secure F mounted on top of that, because that is a little better, although, as I suggested, in the limit with Perfect Knowledge, which we don't have, they do converge to the same number. So on the day that I made this video, so we're over here on my Patreon channel, the day I made this video, the inset, which I put live yesterday, we actually took this trade. So again, if you're not a member of our Patreon channel, our service, you really are just missing it all over the place. That very day I was making that video, we took this Bitcoin short. And as you are aware, even on the outside, I give sizing recommendations along with this, because people need to be sized appropriately. So for this particular trade at this price, this direction, Bitcoin short at 101, I told my members that the sizing, and this is how I give the sizing, was 11 MBT contracts. So it's Mike Tango Bravo, 11 MBT contracts per $100,000 account balance. So let's do the math on this, and let's just round it. Currently we're sitting at, let's just round it to 83,000 just to make the math easy. So I'm going to do the math off screen. 101,000, okay, minus 83,000. So we got call it roughly 18,000 per contract move. So that's times 11 contracts times our contract multiplier, which is 1/10. That gives us a profit of $19,800. Now, understand what I just said there. $19,800 from 101 to 83, which you can see it isn't now, but it was definitely earlier. I think we got down to, just sub 81,000. So that's $19,800 profit per $100,000. So yes, you didn't misunderstand. We got damn near 20% of our account since November 13th on this trade. That's insanity, isn't it? Now here's the thing. This is an outsized gain. Now the point is, there is no chance that the algo ever takes a loss even greater than, I'm going to say, a fourth or a fifth of this size. So the question is, how do we arrive at this sizing? And I would suggest to you that you think this sizing is way too large. And if you're going to hold it in a loss position and lose and lose and lose and lose, yeah, it's going to be way too big for you. It's in the context of the algorithm. The algorithm provides the trades. Kelly Betting Secure F analyzes those results and it tells you a size. So right now we're running, I believe, on this Bitcoin trade, a 1/8 Kelly. That's 1/8. So you can imagine how much money this thing would make at a quarter or a half Kelly, which is what a lot of people run. Now, why don't I run more than a 1/8 Kelly? Well, first of all, it keeps the volatility down because you probably could not and would not stomach a 1/4 or 1/2 Kelly. You can imagine just the drawdowns in market swings or account swings that you would have. You wouldn't handle it. But as important, we are running 11 securities here. I cannot be running each one of these things so hot that if you get in a bad run where 5 of them take a loss and 5 of them take a loss 2 and 3 times in a row, which is very possible, you'd blow out your account. So we have to be very conservative, which is why this is 1/8 Kelly. But you can see how 1/8 Kelly, if you let these things breathe, how much good that does. And as per the size of your account, what's the notional value on this thing? Well, you can see at 101,000 taking 11 contracts, the notional value is greater than your entire account. So how did we make 20% roughly? Well, we bet slightly more than our entire account balance on this one trade. Now, what stops you from being too big and blowing out? Well, first of all, this is completely vetted by the mathematics. And it actually tells you that, hey, if you're running 1/8 Kelly, you are way, as far as it's concerned, under betting. So it is very safe. But more so, it relies on the fact that you are going to get out when it goes wrong. And it's not going to be letting this thing draw down 6, 7, 8, 9, 10% against you. That's a recipe for disaster, which is why when you're playing with the big boys, you have to follow the algorithm. So we win probably close to 60% of the time. Flip that around, that's a lot of losing. So you're going to take a lot of 2, 3, 4, 5% maybe hits to your account before you eventually get something very similar in a gain on that short, and then you're going to catch a big win sooner or later. And it's just going to walk all over that 40% of the time you're losing small. And even though you're only winning 60% of the time, slightly greater than 50% of the time, your wins are going to exceed your losses. But it's most meaningful when you're taking the proper sizing. Most people guarantee you, if you were betting Bitcoin, and rightly so, because most of you guys are like Two Tick Nick, or most of you guys are like Mike. You just think whatever trade you put on is going to be a winner, and you hold it way too long. Okay, that's the recipe for disaster. That's what our algorithm doesn't do. So all the other good work that I could do on top of this would be ruined if you didn't follow the underlying algorithm of just taking a lot of small losses, because then you get something like this and you are sized appropriately and you can see what this does to your account. Already what I told you about our account profit this year for 2025, it's already been superseded today Why? Well, this is one of 5 trades that we have on, and we don't stick around with the trades that are losing. They are exited, and everywhere you find big moves going on in any of these securities, our algorithm is there. We're there making the money. And for most of you, if you are not disciplined enough, which would be most of you, I don't suggest taking positions of this size. But it's also why you are never going to generate the returns that we do, because you're actually sized too small for an appropriate sized algorithm. The problem is people aren't running algorithms, they're just running blind, and they're willing to take trades and have it go against them for a month. And you know who I'm talking about. It's these 2-tick knickers that make 1 point and lose 10, and then they just repeat that for 5 years, call themselves winners because they're delusional fools. And if they tell a good enough story, people are going to believe it. I mean, we've got this problem. You see this daily with Mike Norman. Guy tells you he's never wrong, 100% accuracy in his market direction calls, yet he can't bring himself to make the trade. He'll just rather buy and hold all the way down. Want to see that guy getting grumpy? I have no idea what this S&P is going to do in the weeks and months to come. But if it goes down another 5 or 10%, you watch that guy get super grumpy. Why? Well, because he held it all the way down and is buying all the way down, building this big giant snowball of bullshit. That's what he's going to do. He's already told you he's going to do that. So how could you trust a guy that tells you he's never wrong but doesn't actually follow it and can't produce a portfolio for any type of evidence? Well, I'll tell you why people trust that guy and think he's a hero. Because he tells a good enough story. People are into stories, not making money. Now, I could go on here with the sizing, but I wanted to contrast what you're doing versus what we're doing, and what better way to do it in the size category is to give you an actual trade that, again, you're not going to follow me now at this point. I told my guys back here, it's 11 contracts, notional value greater than the size of your account. Perfectly fine. She may say that's too big, but it's perfectly fine because you're going to take small losses and you're going to let these things run. And you can see it here. This is 20% of your account in a matter of days. Folks, get your ass over here. I've been telling you for months, you're wasting your freaking time with the bullshit that you're doing, 99% of you. Now, you could do what I do, but why are you going to spend the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years fucking around, wasting your time when it would be better spent doing whatever else you want to do and just ride this gravy train right here for a very small nominal fee monthly, and you don't have to put all the effort in to trying to figure out what works, because you're going to run into 1,000 dead ends before you find this, and how much more of your time and your life you're going to waste. Don't do it. You're not a loser for joining one of these things. You just respect the time that you have and your skill in whatever you're doing outside of trading. I've got this done for you. It's worth your time if you value your time. This is an example. This gives you a good idea of what we do. Proper sizing, completely vetted. It may seem outsized, but in the context of our algorithm, it's right on. And you can tell at 1/8 Kelly, this is very conservative. You are one click away from far more success than what you're likely currently experiencing in whatever the hell you're doing, or whatever obvious clown you're following. All right, I'll see you here.